Hello everyone, welcome back to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at The Son of Neptune, chapter 36, and this is the last part of Frank's four-part section. So, let's just jump right into it. This is a long chapter, a lot of vocabulary words. Excuse me. First part, Frank runs to the attic, he gets a bunch of weapons, he sees like this potato machine gun, and Ella shares just a piece of this prophecy about Percy, or a son of Neptune, drowning in the ocean. Well, he gets up, doesn't even get up. He goes up onto the roof where he finds Percy and Hazel trying to defend the house from the Lystragonians. Percy has like a hose in his hand, and whenever they throw a cannonball, Percy like shoots out water and explodes the cannonball. Frank sees Hazel and is like, Hazel, thanks for taking care of me and not hating me. He's like, what? Why would I hate you? It's like, well, like kind of summoned that undead skeleton thing and it looked like you kind of hated me. She's like, no way, I was impressed. And Percy's like, yeah, man, that was awesome. And then Frank is like, she said I'm great. And Frank is just like, his face is red. He just feels so happy. He doesn't even really hear anything else that's going on because he's just thinking like, Hazel doesn't hate me. Hazel thinks I'm awesome. And so he's feeling so proud. And yeah. In this whole chapter, it's kind of funny because like Frank is like, I'll tell you later, and Percy's like, I'll tell you later, and Hazel's like, I'll tell you later, and Frank is like, I'll tell you later, and Percy's like, I'll tell you later. So there's all this stuff that they want to talk about, but they're like, we don't have time, I'll tell you later. But then they just start sharing him some information. Okay, the things that they could. Frank talks about his family, that he's like a grandson of Neptune, that he like has some special power but he doesn't know how to use it, and just starts giving them all this information. And then he like has a plan. Okay, well, why don't you guys get in the Cadillac and we'll drive through the Lystragonians. And Percy's like, yeah, and I'll explode the water system, sprinkling system in the yard. And so Percy and Hazel get Ella, they learn that Ella read the book of prophecies. If you remember, Octavian wanted to find this book that was like some burnt prophecies that had all the prophecies of Rome. Ella had read it, and so she kind of knows it and has it in her mind, and so she's really, really valuable. So they take Ella, Percy and Hazel and Ella, they go down into the Cadillac, and Frank is trying to distract the Lystragonians, and so he's like, hey guys, hey, who's ready for some food? And he's just like up there walking on the roof talking like like he's a rock star, right? Come on everyone, woo! And eventually the Lystragonians get bored and they want to eat him, and so he runs down to the attic and he starts shooting the potato machine gun and shooting arrows and trying to fight them. And then he runs and gets into the Cadillac. He gets into the Cadillac, they're driving away, Percy explodes the yard, and they get to where the airplane is. Frank gets out and he starts shooting arrows at the Lystragonians while Percy and Hazel get onto the plane. Ella refuses to get onto the plane. She's like, Ella can fly with wings, not in an airplane. And so Percy's like, hey, just hide in the woods, I'll send a friend to take you to Camp Jupiter. We don't know what that means, how that would work, but Percy says, I'll tell you later. So Ella goes and flies and hides into the forest. They all jump on the plane, they fly away, they almost get exploded, and they're safe. And then Frank starts to cry because he couldn't use his powers to save his friends like he needed to. And that is the end of the chapter. Whew. Vocabulary. There's a lot. Let's try to go through it quick. Milling around is like hanging out. Hanging around. Just kind of sitting there, not doing much. Just kind of like relaxing, just milling around. Patrolled. This is what Hazel's doing. Hazel's walking back and forth along the roof of the house, patrolling the roof in the house. Gables. I have a picture for this, but I think it's going to come up last, so I'm going to come back to this one. Baffled is confused. I can't remember who is baffled. Repulsive is that feeling. When Hazel saw the skeleton, the evil skeleton, she was repulsed. But not at Frank. She was impressed with Frank, but she was just kind of like, a little freaked out, shocked. Battle jitters. We talked about this before. Oh man, I'm scared. Calm down. That shaking, that nervousness you get before battle. And cat calls. And cat calls like, boo! You suck! Hey, what are you doing? Come on! Like this negative calling to a band or a comedian or any performer is like yelling bad things to that person. Okay, let's hope a Gable comes out. Okay, good. So here's a picture of a Gable. This is, as far as I understand, it's this part where the roofs meet. Okay, we see, actually here I can kind of draw a little bit here. This part here, I think, or this part, okay, one of these parts, one or two, is a Gable. Page 2 of vocabulary, because there is a lot. The first one is banister, and on the stairs, there's something you can put your hand on to keep you from falling off. That's called a banister. Exasperation. Oh, come on, please. This tired pleading to someone. And Percy's like, oh, Ella, oh, get out of the car, go on the plane. Ella, on the other hand, is hyperventilating. That's when you can't control your breath and it goes so fast that you can't actually get oxygen. Nocked an arrow is like putting an arrow on your bow, and it could be part of like pulling it back, but it's just, on top of your bow. It's prepared. And then swaths is like strips. So if you think of a forest and there's a strip of fire and a strip of fire and a strip of fire, these swaths of fire in the forest. And vocabulary, discussion question. Have you ever been so disappointed that you have cried? We all do this when we're young, when we're kids, but maybe even now, right? As you're older, have you ever been so disappointed in something that it just, brought tears to your eyes? Maybe you didn't cry quite like Frank. I'm a failure. But there might have been something else where you just, your parents promised to take you somewhere. You thought you were going to do good on a test. You thought you were going to win some competition and you failed, or something changed or something happened and you just felt so disappointed that you cried. Whew, what happened? Share that story. Let's connect with Frank, because that's probably how Frank feels right now on the airplane. Of course, please make your own discussion question. That's all the time that we have for today, but thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.